Hi guys, and welcome back to the South Korean ladder to September 2025. On the 26th of September, this internal clan fight has been fought here. So let me just start by introducing the players to you. We have spawning in the upper right, in the teal, it is MYANG8. Sadly, I don't know who exactly this player is, but given the fact that he has joined the C9 clan, should be of course a very strong player. And his opponent here in the lower left, in the white, it is Flash, who is spawning here on the 4 spawning location map. They're already chatting here. So the C9 clan, I believe Snow is also a member from C9, I could be wrong, but yeah, sadly I'm going to do some research who MYANG8 is. Perhaps you guys know who this person is. Very high APM here for him. Terran versus Protoss it is, as the chatting is still continuing here. And yeah, like I told you, I believe it was on the 26th of September 2025. This game has been played, and also nice to see remastered graphics here onto this channel after I had some internet issues for a couple of months. And yeah, we are back here onto this channel, trying to be of course as active as possible, casting as many games as I can from the South Korean ladder. Not gonna do reactions from the ASL given the fact that there might be some copyright issues and so on. But yeah, let's get back to the game. We do have the production tab here in the upper left part. Pretty standard open up here for both players. Supply depot into barracks, and a very early scout here by the Protoss player. Flash should also start very soon scouting here the map. So nothing out of the ordinary, no cheesy gameplay here. We have also a very early gas here from the Protoss. He might go straight towards Dragoons. There's the cybernetic score. I believe he's not going to produce any zealots from now on. And yeah, both players just pretty much adding more workers, just preparing their game. We can see from the timer quite a short replay around the 20-minute mark. Let's see exactly who is going to be the winner here of this internal clan fight in between the two pros. Now finally a better scout here for Flash, making it straight forward towards the upper right part. Of course he's going to try to stay as much as he can here, but very soon one Dragoon is going to chase him off. With that, of course, seeing the build order, he is ready to expand on his own. Now if it would have been a Nexus first, of course he could have tried to rush the opponent with a bunker rush. We actually saw Rush doing this here onto this channel, being very successful. Bunker with some SCVs getting pulled, I believe around 6 SCVs with some Marines, even a Vulture can be added. Quite very strong into the early game versus the Protoss. And there comes the first probe, and one Zealot is actually also out here for the Protoss, for MYANG. And the bunker is very likely going to be finishing on time. So Flash looking very good here. His expansion is very early, very good. He's even going to add a factory. No factory yet for him, as the Dragoon is now slowly but steadily damaging this SCV into the area. Is the Protoss player going to try to move forward? Flash preparing a block here. The Zealot already taking some damage. His shields have dropped, and I believe the 3 Marines, they will be microed correctly here by Flash. Should be able to take off this Zealot. Of course the Protoss is going to try to buy as much time as he can. Maybe be lucky and snipe a Marine or 2 here. But yeah, no such thing. Flash nicely microing those Marines. So the first abuse by the Protoss not working out for him. He's now going into range Dragoons. Flash might go into a factory now, and there it is. So a factory, of course, to add some tanks to be secured. Worker-wise, pretty much the same worker amount here. However, the Protoss not having an expansion yet. Is he going into a full attack mode with Dragoons? We're about to find out. Actually, a robotics facility bay for him, so we might even see some drops with some Reavers. It could also be Dark Templars here for the Protoss. Could be a possibility. Early Dark Templars very strong, but yeah, Flash immediately reacting, thinking about that, adding a engineering bay into this location. So smart gameplay by him, as the Protoss will also prepare his expansion very soon. The Dragoons will be in range very soon, forcing Flash to invest some minerals into repairing the bunker. The bunker should be filled with 4 Marines indeed here. And I believe the first Vultures will very likely also be produced by Flash as well. Is he going to already add a turret? Yes, indeed, a turret. So he's expecting indeed a rush with either a shuttle gameplay or some Dark Templar. So the turret's of course great to detect the invisible units. Also adding a turret here, so very defensive gameplay here by Flash. Perhaps Flash knows exactly the gameplay from the opponent. There it is. We do have the robotics facility bay, and I hope I didn't miss anything. No, the first shuttle is getting produced. And I believe Flash is going to be lucky here to scout this out. So it's just an empty shuttle right now. Just a mind game now here by the Protoss, showing his shuttle. But the Reaver is of course not ready yet. So perhaps Flash knows exactly the tactics from his opponent. Very cautious gameplay here by him with the turrets, as the Dragoons are still dealing more damage. But I believe Flash should be fine, even adding 3 turrets into this location. So smart gameplay here by him. And still no expansion here for the Protoss. What exactly are his plans? Is he very likely going to go full on attack with this shuttle? Siege tank is about to get done. Siege tank ability is about to get done here for, and now finally we do see the very late expansion here by the Protoss at around the 6-minute mark, as Flash is still consuming some minerals, and he might be lucky to snipe a Dragoon. With that, of course, the harassment has stopped. The Protoss, however, showing his presence here. He might try to attack here, but Flash, of course, thinking about that as well, adding a turret. He might try to sacrifice his shuttle here with some damage and drop the Reaver. However, the Scarabs will have a very hard time connecting here. Perhaps Flash needs to move a tank very soon into the lower part. Reaver is still in position now. Here comes the attack. Flash is sieging up, but he's not in range for that Reaver, so the Reaver in a very good position here. He might even snipe some SCVs. A very good move here by the Protoss, moving here forward. The tank is on the whole high ground. One tank will be sniped here, so pretty much an all-in here by the Protoss now. Nicely sneakingly moving here forward, going towards the turret right here in order to keep on microing this shuttle. So very great move here by the Protoss. Now finally I understand his tactics, inflicting so much damage now here towards Flash. So Flash in some serious trouble early on. The expansion might even get cancelled here by the Protoss, as he might go for more units. So a great harassment here by the Protoss, sacrificing of course some Dragoons, but it was all worthy. Nothing is getting mined here. Some SCVs have been sniped, a tank has been sniped here, and the shuttle gameplay just pretty much continuing here forward. So very good move here by the Protoss. Flash in some serious trouble. The Reaver is also nicely getting microed. More SCVs are getting sniped here. Worker wise, however, Flash at the same worker amount with his opponent. He really needs those turrets badly. The Reaver once again will have a great time here sniping those SCVs, and even perhaps be lucky and take out a tank, also taking some damage. The tank with, I believe, 2 HP, immediately getting repaired by Flash. So Flash trying to react, of course, as fast as he can, but a very great abusive gameplay here by the Protoss, even bringing a observer now forward. Needs to be careful, he's in range of this turret, and even a glide is getting brought forward to take care of the shuttle. And the important thing here for the Protoss, he did actually expand while he attacked. So very smart gameplay, aggressive gameplay, and at the same time smart gameplay here by this Protoss, putting Flash actually in a very big trouble. And actually now we have 2 Reavers from the Protoss with a expansion, or it's actually a starport here for Flash. So yeah, Flash in some serious early game danger here from the opponent. The Protoss now even having more workers than Flash. Very good harassment here by him early on, showing that if you're ready to sacrifice some of your Dragoons, you might be successful. So much mining time has been lost here by Flash. And now the Protoss even had a 3-base strategy, walling off here nicely versus some vulture harassment, having good map control, not allowing Flash to move out. In a great control here, and you can see more observers already produced, more Dragoons, more gateways for him, as Flash now being forced to turtle up. He might go for a dropship harassment. It could be a possibility for him. Dropship with some vultures. Yes, indeed, there we have the upgrades. So he could be sneaky to move forward with that dropship straight here into this location. The Protoss not really thinking about that. So, however, his observers will have good vision. But if Flash is smart, of course he's a smart player, the best Terran, he might just move towards this location right here, going straight forward, and now he might be the one inflicting good damage towards the economy from the opponent. So yeah, there are the vulture, there is the science facility, so we might see some EMP versus the Protoss, and very soon I believe he's going for that dropship. Yeah, there it is. The dropship of course can pick up 4 vultures, as the Protoss has control of the map. However, he doesn't really have good vision here. He might see the dropship move out Let's see if Flash is going to be successful with this, as we did pass the 10-minute mark. So very interesting early game, nice harassment by the Protoss. Now we're going to be seeing Flash, if Flash is going to be able to inflict economic damage. There aren't even any Dragoons here at home, there aren't even any cannons, as Flash is now moving out. And the question is, did the Protoss see this or not? I believe he did not see it, as another gateway has been added. No Dragoons are being brought forward. Only one is just moving around here, so Flash might be very successful here. 58 workers for the Protoss. Let's see how many he can snipe. Going straight towards the mineral line, I believe. No, interesting enough, he's actually going for the gateway. So interesting move here by Flash. The probes immediately getting microed here by the Protoss. Some of them will fall. Currently 3, 4. Good harassment. A very interesting move by him going for the left part. I believe he tried to just plant some mines in order to inflict more splash damage. So quite interesting stuff. Still sniping more units as the Protoss dropped to 51. Now adding more workers. So the plan from Flash was easy. He wanted to plant some mines into this location. However, the Dragoons were on point to move out. And even the Dragoons nicely microed here by the Protoss. A very good player here indeed. Yeah, look, pretty good harassment. And interesting enough, Flash not going straight towards the mineral line. Firstly, losing some tempo, losing some time, going for the sneaky gameplay, planting some mines in order to inflict damage towards the Dragoons. Still good harassment by him, and right now a very balanced game indeed we have, with a great map control here by MYANG8. Like I told you, I'm going to do some research. Perhaps you guys know who this player is. Very good player indeed. Nice micro by him. Very early good harassment, as we do have a small stalemate now here onto the map. Flash turtling up, adding more and more factories. And the gateway is also added here by the Protoss, as he's going for speed and upgrades for the Zealots. Very soon the speed for the shuttle is also getting done. We have another attempt here by Flash to do some job. A siege tank with vultures, very strong. He's very likely going to siege up, denying some mining time here. Very good stuff by Flash. Showing us a weakness from the Protoss, as there were no Dragoons here guarding this location. Not that many workers have been lost here actually by the Protoss, but this is going to force him to move out. Quite a chaotic scene here actually. He has to use a shuttle in order to fend this up, and a Reaver is actually, 2 Reavers are getting dropped. The dropship very low on HP, but a good harassment in the end here by Flash, denying, like I told you, denying some mining time. And yeah, some observers are still gaining more and more map vision, so the shuttle has to be brought back by the Protoss, as the Terran, as Flash is now moving forward. I believe he's going to try to secure his other expansion here into this position. A very good game here by both players. Still, I have no idea who's going to win it. Very, very good game indeed from the C9 clan here on the South Korean ladder. Let's have a quick look at those upgrades. Still 0-0, still 2 Reavers alive for the Protoss, very important. Is he perhaps going to try to move forward towards the main? He needs to be careful, of course, as Flash is now moving forward. Let's have a look at the upgrades from Flash. 2 weapons upgrades already for him, so very strong upgrades. Psionic Storm is also getting researched here, and sadly here for the Protoss now finally not be paying attention. He did lose an important unit. The Reaver has been sniped, and the Dragoon has also been sniped here, as I believe the Protoss should not be fighting this against those siege tanks with 2 weapons upgrade. He is of course going to try to buy as much time as he can. He needs to be careful not to lose the other Reaver. A good attempt, a good snipe here. 3 vultures have been sniped. Flash slowly but steadily, of course, has to move forward. He has to secure this expansion point, as it's soon going to be 4 base Protoss versus the only 3 base Terran. And a pylon has also been sniped here, so the Protoss now currently supply blocked. More workers here for Flash, as he's interesting enough moving here forward, planting of course as many mines as he can, trying to stop the gameplay here and snapping the important unit once again. So sadly here for the Protoss, some blunders are being made. 2 Reavers have been sniped. Psionic Storm not really getting some connection, so all of a sudden Flash with a very fast reaction, trying to move out now with his vultures. I believe his next target is going to be the newly established base here for the Protoss. So all of a sudden the Protoss in some serious trouble. Flash just pretty much surrounding all of the units here from the Protoss, trying to get some good connections. Mines will be planted all over the place. The Protoss in a little bit of trouble here, tries of course to micro those Dragoons, showing us how strong the Dragoons are actually here for the vultures versus the vultures. But there's just way too many vultures, and I believe even one pylon might get sniped. The cannon is actually getting targeted, so all of a sudden the Protoss has to be more defensively here, as just Flash just moving around the map with his vultures. The Protoss losing some momentum, losing some time. He has to clear those mines. And now just some zealots are here ready to protect the expansion. More and more gateways are getting planted, and yet another drop is happening here. So with that flash, all of a sudden in a very good position. He might even try to snipe the pylon right here. Siege tank has been sieged out. Like I told you, the Protoss losing some momentum. He is also going to take some damage here into this expansion point. Yeah, those mines are really working well here for Flash, as he's just planting on more and more mines. So it's a very hard game now for the Protoss. He really needs those observers in a defensive position all of a sudden. He needs them back to secure the road from the Protoss. A good psionic storm here, so Flash not paying attention. Both players do take some casualties. Now finally the Dragoons should be able to clear this out. However, more and more damage is being taken here by the Protoss, as Flash just showing his presence, planting as many mines as he can. A very good gameplay here by him, and at the same time he's also taking this expansion right here. So we did pass the 15-minute mark. We still have 5 minutes to go. It's still a balanced game. The Protoss really needs those observers in order to clear the way towards the expansion. But Flash being much more faster here with his vultures. He might be even lucky to snap the psionic storm here from the opponent, luring of course those zealots towards the mines. A very nice abusive gameplay here by Flash. And yeah, the Protoss now has to clear all of those mines, but very soon he might be supply blocked at 200, so very soon we might see him move out with his units towards the expansion point. But all of the map, pretty much all of it, has been mined here by Flash with mines all over the place. So some casualties will be taken here for the Protoss. The Protoss has to be of course very cautious here to move forward, slowly but steadily gaining more and more control of the map. But the siege tanks are now in the back. Let's have a look at those quick upgrades. 2-1 Protoss at only 1 weapons upgrade, so the siege is actually continuing here slowly but steadily forward. We even have a science vessel in the air against the Dark Templars, against EMP, of course, in order to use EMP versus the psionic storm here from the opponent. So Flash pretty much thinking about everything, and all of a sudden the Protoss is slowly but steadily getting pushed back by the Terran units. Dragoons in the front. Interesting enough, the Protoss not really having so many units. He did invest a lot of into those expansions. I believe Flash is just going to go straight towards the expansion point, the main expansion point, and then straight towards the production buildings. Even though the Protoss is maxed out, where are his units? Oh, there they are. So just a counter attack here with 2 psionic storms straight towards the expansion point here. There's the drop nicely. The tanks are reacting nicely, but the real damage dealers will of course be the psionic storm high templars. However, they're getting immediately snapped, so Flash thinking about that as well. The abusive gameplay here by the Protoss not really working out, as the Protoss is, like I told you, pushed back. And with that, the way is pretty much cleared now here for the Terran to move forward against the newly established bases here by the Protoss. So the Protoss is pretty much getting cornered here by Flash. What exactly can he do versus this? Just a shuttle gameplay here with the zealots in the front. Yeah, there is the move out here by Flash, but he has to come back in order to defend. The Dragoons are in the front, not that many zealots here. Now finally they do arrive here from the back. The tanks are still protected by the vultures in the front, even the Goliath is protecting them. And more damage is being taken. Now the real damage dealers are coming forward, but MYANG actually decides to abandon this game. So the problem for MYANG was that pretty much the way towards the newly established bases was shut, and I believe Flash even had a dropship here, so some units could have been dropped. So Flash nicely moving out, just cutting the map in half, and with that the upper left part would have been pretty much in control here for Flash, with some dropship harassment, with some vultures, a couple of tanks. Those upgrades also looking very good here for Flash. 3-1 I believe versus only, it was 1 weapons upgrade, perhaps 2, but yeah, even plating would have been finished. So an early good game by the Protoss, but in the end Flash coming back here towards this game. However, Flash did struggle into the early game. It could have been a winning move here by the Protoss with the harassment versus all of those SCVs. So very nice gameplay here by him. However, Flash in the end coming back, nicely defending, playing patiently, and with that actually taking this interesting game in between them. I don't really think that the Protoss could have should have given up, but in the end he knew of course better. Given the fact that the map was pretty much cut in half by Flash, it would have been a slow death for the Protoss. So very nice game by both players. Actually more resources have been mined here by the Protoss, but in the end those tanks with those upgrades proving to be so strong here for Flash versus his opponent. A very good game from the C9 clan, like I told you, on the 26th of September 2025. Very nice, a very balanced game, back and forward game, but in the end Flash taking the initiative at the end of the game, moving out, having his upgrades. Very important to have those upgrades. The dropship harassment also worked out really well. Early great game by the Protoss, but in the end a good comeback here by Flash. So hope you guys enjoyed. It's Tommy signing out.